All right, we are recording. Okay, welcome everybody to the call. You guys are just killing it at the end of the month. Monica will keep updating us on the team volume, but it's definitely going to be our best month ever. Did you guys see that Zaya had their biggest sales day ever yesterday, which is really thrilling to be part of a company that every single week, it seems, we have the best sales day ever. I heard a stat that we can't officially publish or publicize yet, but we're working on getting the rights to this stat so that we can. But Zaya is currently the fastest growing premium activewear company in the US and Canada. That's more than Lulu, Athleta, and Fabletics are growing, faster than they're growing. That doesn't mean our sales are higher than theirs, but our percentage of growth is higher. That is amazing, especially because this industry that we're in is going from brick and mortar to all online, and that's where we have the advantage. So, I mean, you guys know that you're on a rocket ship, and it's just all of these signs of growth. Just soak it in and tell everybody you know about it, because that is, I mean, you can't get that very often. So anyway, congratulations to you. You guys you're really amazing. I mean, I was looking at numbers today, and 284. That's amazing. I mean, that's more than $250,000 team. I bet we'll be close to 500,000 near the end of the year. I just got distracted with that excitement. Oh, I know. I was looking at numbers today, and there's so many of you over, like Monica posted today, over $3,000 for the month. There are several of you in the 7,000s. It's just nuts. You are amazing. Yes, we made the team goal. We are not officially Double Zaya exec team. We need to secure those directors. So we're not there yet, but we've got one major piece of the puzzle. It's like Tetris. It's like playing Tetris, and everything has to align. So it's very close, so it's looking good. So just keep going. Okay, so you guys, I'm so excited I'm so excited for tonight's call, and I can tell you are too. There's a ton of you on. Carly and I have been friends for quite a while in this business. We even showed up wearing the same shirt, which is not on purpose, but I've loved watching her in this company. She, started all cute and a little bit meek and shy, and she is now like one of the top leaders in our company. And every time I see her, I just think that girl's going all the way up. So it's really fun to watch, and she is incredibly coachable. She takes every bit of advice and applies it and runs with it, and no excuses. And anyway, I can't wait to hear from her. But before we have her speak, I just want to tell you a few things, and then I'll give you her stats. Over the last few months, I've really been taking inventory on people that are excelling at sales every month, that have these $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 months. That's not really like normal, And what I've noticed is those people, number one, have a ton of parties, like 4 to 6. Emily Sanders had 8 this month, and she's got almost $5,000 in sales. So there's definitely a correlation between party numbers, how many parties, and your sales. But also, more than just booking parties, it's people that are organized with their parties. They have a system, like Lindy trained about. She has a very specific system. She just repeats it every single week. Carly's going to share about her system. And I found this really fascinating, because I tend to not want to do that. I tend to want to just put stuff up depending on my mood. And that's fine sometimes, but it certainly is not going to get me sales in the 6,000s and 7,000s. So if that's your goal, and we don't all have to have that much in sales, by the way. That doesn't need to be our goal. However, the more sales you have, the more opportunities you have to talk to people about joining your team. And that's really the way to grow your income the fastest. So I'm excited for her to talk about her system, but please don't get caught up on the details of the words that she uses in her posts and exactly what each post is, because it's not about that. It's about the system, and it's about being organized. So I don't want you guys to leave the call feeling frustrated, like, oh, I don't do that post and I have to redo everything. You don't have to redo everything. Just take bits and pieces that you really like and that you can apply and weave into what you're already doing, and we'll all just be better for it. And then also, I already put everything in Trello. So if you slide over, it's to the right in the section called parties. There's a lot of training there. And then I labeled it Carly's training. And I put her she sent 2 files and 3 graphics. They're all there. And I'll put her call recording there in the morning. Okay, so Carly joined last January. She's been in for a little over a year, and her lifetime PV is $70,000. So she sold $70,000 in about a year. That's amazing. Her average monthly sales are around 5,000, and her lowest month ever was 3,000. So she's just always killing it. And her best month was 7,000. So Carly is a senior director working on getting that executive promotion soon. And I will now mute myself, and Carly, you can unmute and take it away.
Hi. It's so awesome to see so many people. I have a smaller team, so it's so fun to like talk to a big bunch of people. And I'm so honored that Katie asked me to talk. Just super, super exciting. I've looked up to Katie for a long time, so working with her is awesome. So yes, so I want to reiterate what Katie said, and I was going to say this too. Don't get caught up in the details. And I am really bad about getting caught up in the details, but it's not about specifically what you post. It's really about creating those connections within the party. So I'm going to talk about my system, and my system is the same. I do the same post every now and then. I'll do something new, but very, very rarely. And I have a lot of repeat people in my parties, but with our new products, some of the posts are a little bit different because of the products, but what makes them different is within each post, I interact with each person who's commenting. So even though the posts may be the same and the system is the same, the interactions are different. And the interactions and the connections build the more people keep coming to the parties, because now there are other friends having one. So yeah, having a system helps so much. So number one, exactly what Katie said too, is I host 4 to 8 parties per month. I rarely honestly have 4. It's usually more like 6 to 8. And when I only have 4, like this month, I haven't even hit 3,000 in sales yet. I'm going to hit it, but I only had 4 parties, and that's why. And when you book your calendar like that, you give yourself a little bit of margin for bad parties, because you're going to have 0 parties. And I remember hearing this when I was first started. I'm like, I'm never going to have a 0 party. I've had 2 in 1 week. So you got to stack your calendar so that then when you have those, they don't mean as much. You can move on. You don't need to be associated or attached to that one individual result of that one party. You can just move on because you have to. You have 2 more parties the following week. So stacking your calendar, number one, 4 to 8 parties a month is definitely a good thing to do. And one little like side tip that I have on multiple parties in a week, what I like to do is I like to have, if I have 2 parties in a week, instead of having one on Wednesday and one on Thursday, I like to do them back to back on the same night. So I'll do one, say like Wednesday at 7 and one Wednesday at 8. So I give myself a little bit of time in between. And the reason I like to do that is because then it keeps my system intact. So when I'm copying and pasting my posts, I do it for both parties. Where if I have one on Wednesday and one on Thursday, I'm doing that twice. It's taking me twice the amount of time as if I was having them both on the same night, because my posts are in alignment. Hopefully that makes sense. So if you have 2 parties a week, I like to have them both on the same night. So as I'm posting throughout the week, it's copy, paste, paste instead of copy, paste, double the work, less efficient. One thing I get asked a lot is if I use groups or events, and there's pros and cons to all, or to both, but I want to tell you why I use events. Number one, I mark the date and time of the event for the date and time in which I'm going to go live. And I go live maybe a couple times, but I do one main live where I'm actually showing the product. The other lives are just intros or whatever. So that way people know when they should be on. When I'm in group parties personally, I'm like, what is going on? When do I need to pay attention? When do I have to order by? Where if there's a specific date and time, I know that's when I need to get on. The other thing is that my posts stay in order. And that's just like my personality. I like my posts to stay in order because in a group, if somebody comments on a post, then that kind of gets bumped up. And then other people may log on to the party page and miss posts because now they're all kind of jumbled and out of order. Another really cool thing is that Facebook does 2 follow-ups reminders for me. So the day of the party, Facebook sends a reminder. You have this event tonight at 8. And then 1 hour before, Facebook does a reminder. So those are 2 things that I don't have to do that are reminding all of the guests of that specific event of the date and time. And again, that's what's helpful about having the date and time that I'm going live be the scheduled date and time for that event. So those are just a couple things why I like events better. So for organization and efficiency, what I do is I have a Facebook party template. And I created it for a date way in the future. This is just kind of a technical thing so that I can always access it easily and I don't have to search for it in the past. And I can always add my team to it. Once an event is in the past, you can no longer invite people to it. So I have a Facebook party template that has all of my posts and all of my pictures in it. And they're in the exact order in which I do them. So I just copy paste everything. And then my photos, even though I have them in that event, I don't save them or copy them from that event. I just have them there more so kind of for my team or if I'm missing one. But I have them organized on my phone so that I can just go into that specific folder, find the photos, I copy paste the text, find the photos and do the post. So that makes it super efficient for me. I know within groups you can schedule posts, but with this system, I don't feel like it takes me any more time or that I need to be able to actually schedule them. So that's how I organize them. Tips for just hosting good parties in general, besides the organization piece of it and making, oh, and one more thing on the organization piece. I do my parties always on Wednesday nights, unless somebody asks me, but that's what I offer because that's what works best. For me, for my schedule. And like I said, if somebody can't make a Wednesday night, then of course I'm not going to turn down a party. But then I know I open them on Sunday, I post Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I go live Wednesday night. And then from Thursday to Saturday, I really just post like the thank yous and whoever won the gift card. I go live about the rep opportunity and then I close it Saturday night. And I like having that system because it's just consistent for me. And then that's why I said if I do 2, I do both of them Wednesday night when possible. So keys to having good sales in a party, number 1 is getting your hostess excited and engaged and setting those expectations. So we do these parties all the time, right? We do 4 to 8 per month. Most people don't do that. So they don't know what to do. They don't know what makes a good party. So it's really important to educate your hostess and set expectations with them. So when I book a party with someone, I say, great, I will contact you the Sunday before to get everything set up so that then they know that's when they can expect to hear from me. I get the party set up and I have the first few posts, and this is in the party outline, like the details that I sent Katie and she posted on Trello. But I send them a message and say, hey, your party's all set up. Do not mass invite. Here's a sample message you can send. And once I hear back from them, I send them the hostess rewards chart. And I say, great, here's a reminder of what you can earn. What's your goal? Because I want us to be on the same page and I want them to be thinking about like, oh, well, I want to win the whole 150. And a lot of times people be like, oh, 200. And I'll be like, no, we need to shoot for 6. Like 200 should never be a goal in my opinion. Like let's at least shoot for 6. And so then we're kind of working towards that. And she has something to work towards too. And then I have specific graphics that Katie also has too that I send them, like how to host $1,000 party. And that gives them tips like you need to be commenting, you need to be interacting, make sure you send private messages, follow up. So it just kind of gives them an idea of what's going to get them to their goal. Because again, it's not common sense to them and they don't do this all the time like we do. Another thing I do with my hostess is I check in with her nightly. So I open the party Sunday afternoon, evening. As people start clicking going, I'm like, oh, awesome. We already have 6 people going. I think this party's going to be great. And then Monday night, okay, we have 10 people going and the interaction's a little bit low. What are you thinking? Well, I don't really say, what are you thinking? I'm thinking that maybe, but I say, the interaction's a little bit low. Have you been busy? Or try to like point out to them that they need to interact. And I had this a couple weeks ago where I was like, oh my gosh, it's Tuesday and there's zero interaction. My hostess is not doing well. But because of the message I sent her checking in, she's like, I'm sorry, I was so swamped at work. She picked up her interaction, the whole party interaction picked up, and it was a over $600 party. So that follow-up, and also not getting discouraged early on, which I have had to learn that, because if the party's not going well and it's like Tuesday, it's like, shoot, now my Wednesday, I could have had a party with maybe somebody better, but keep working it. Keep doing what you do, and usually the results will come. So coaching your hostess and keeping her up to date along the way. And then any order, I always post a thank you in the event and say, thanks, Katie, for your purchase. You're going to love your new joggers and shirt. And I post pictures of those. But then each night, I also let the hostess know we have 3 orders and you're at $600 or whatever, just to keep that excitement going. And then, of course, engage the guests. So I feel like this is probably common sense, but anytime anyone comments on your post, love it or react to it in some way other than a like, and respond. Even if it's like my gift card post is like, who's ready to win a gift card? And they're like, me, I still respond to that. Like, respond to every single comment in there, because it makes the post show up more for the other guests. And it's just fun. Like, it's just fun to keep interacting with the people. I do have a key post that I think is really, really beneficial. And it's a tell me about you post. And I have like 3 questions. It says, are you a Zaya newbie or a Zaya nut? What do you like to do in your activewear? What do you prefer? Just kind of like a few questions about what they like, so that it'll help me determine what to show on the live. But then I also post a couple links to products that are specific to them. Don't post like 6 or 8 per person, because you'll get a big red message from Facebook, and you might end up like, I was super scared. I thought I was going to be in Facebook jail, but it didn't happen. So now I just post like 2 or 3 per person, but it's like a cute outfit based upon what they told you. And then again, I hit it up again when I'm doing my live based upon what feedback they have given me. So that really gives me a good idea of getting to know them. That post also creates a lot of like conversation, like, oh, you're a competitor. What did you compete in? When did you compete? How did you do? It's really a good conversation starter too, and it really helps to start building the connection with the people on the party. And then for the live, so I usually go live and do an intro, just like a 3-minute intro of me, so that I don't waste the party time doing that. And then my big live is usually 20 to 30 minutes, and I just go through my rack based upon what they gave feedback on. And at the beginning of the party, I say, if there's anything specific that you guys want to see, comment that now, so that I don't miss out on showing something before the end of the live. So I just watch the comments. I respond live to the comments, and show, our staple pieces, new pieces. I try to talk about the new releases, because I do my parties on Wednesday night. So I talk about what's new. For example, like with the Oh So Soft hoodie, I had an old one. So I pulled that out, put it on, showed them, so that they knew what the new ones were like. So I focus on that too. And just be you in your lives. I know some people like, I just don't know if I can go live or do that. Just be you and have fun. Talk about what you love about the products. Talk about what your customers have told you they love, and like the versatility of it. So I don't, like, I'm a runner, but I don't say, this is great for running, this is great for running. Like, talk about all the versatility and all the different things. Like, these are great to wear to the library. These are great for grocery shopping, or I dress these up. I think it's really important to point out the versatility, because people hear activewear and they think like, oh, I don't work out or whatever. But if we point out the versatility of the items, I think that helps a lot, and you get a lot more people involved and engaged too. I have a bullet point on there that says sell in stock items. This is not so much of an issue anymore, because everything's in stock now, which is awesome. But always post and show things that you know are in stock, because if you don't, that's what people are going to end up wanting, and then it just, creates obvious issues. So always just focus on the things that we do have in stock in all sizes. Okay, so this is the key right here, follow-ups. So the fortune is in the follow-up. You can post whatever you want. Definitely get a system, get organized, get your hostess totally engaged, and engage with the participants. but the follow-up is key. So most of my sales come after my live. I get a couple the night of the live, but most of them come after I follow up. So the morning after, I like to send a voice message. So I friend everybody on the party who says going or maybe, because that way they can see my messages. They're more likely to see my messages. And sometimes they don't accept me, but that's fine. I still send them a message. So everyone who said going or maybe, I send a voice message and just say, hey, this is Carly from Katie's Party. I just wanted to let you know if you didn't get a chance to jump on the live last night, you can still watch the replay. I showed some really great items on there. I'm your personal shopper. I want to help you find the perfect items and fit. So if you have any questions, message me here. So then they know how they can get a hold of me. I've opened up that conversation. And then the second follow-up message I send to them is the day that it closes. So this one's usually just a text message, and I say, you know, hey, I just want to let you know Katie's Party closes today. If she's really close to a next level, I put that in there. And then I end with a question, usually like, well, for one, if there were specific items they commented on, like, I know you love those joggers. Did you need help with sizing? Or like, I try to ask a yes or no question, so that they kind of have to answer, or, I mean, you know, they still don't have to, but at least end with a question so that it tries to create that engagement. So, and I get tons of sales after that. It starts the conversation, it opens it up, and yeah, that's what really helps the parties end strong, I feel like. And even if you hit, like, if your rep hits, or if your hostess hits 1,000, like, don't be like, oh, good, I got $1,000 party. Keep doing these things no matter what. Open up another link for them. Like, never, like, once your hostess hits one of those goals, don't be like, oh, good, I'm done. Like, keep going, because you never know what you can squeeze out of that. And then it just makes those hostess rewards that much better for your hostess. And you get more people out there wearing Zaya and more customers. Okay, so then the other thing that I do, so I should have kind of started off with a little bit better intro, but my whole business I've built off parties. Every single rep of mine has been on a party. Like, my whole business, my 70,000 in sales is because of parties. And the cool thing is you can do this with just starting with one party. So this is what I'm going to tell you about now. So after they receive their items, I follow up with them to make sure, like, hey, I make sure that they've received it. So make sure, just take the extra few seconds, make sure they've received it, because it's really, you feel dumb if you say, hey, how's your items? And they say don't have it. So make sure they've received it. Give them a couple days. And I say, hey, Katie, I see that you received your package. I wanted to make sure you're loving your new leggings and bra. How's everything working for you? So they come back and either say, yes, I love it, or I want to exchange it. Sometimes they say they want to return. I rarely will accept a return. I always say, you know, what didn't you like about it? What can I help you find? Like, get to the reason of what they didn't like, and either suggest something new, suggest sizing up, or yeah, just, you want them to be happy. And if they just return their item, they're not happy. So really work with them to find something that will fit their needs. And then when we get to a point where they've received their exchanged item, so I always follow, like, every single item they have received, I'm following up, every single customer. And then when they say, yep, I love it, it was great, I've been wearing them every day, whatever, I say, great, would you be interested in hosting an online party or a Zaya party and earning free and half off Zaya? Every single person who buys from me, I ask that to. Even if they seem like they're really technically challenged, even if they seem like they're super busy, it's my rule, and it's been my rule from day one. And I'm going to tell a really, really quick story. So when I first started, there was a girl who I didn't want to ask to host. I didn't know her that well. I was kind of intimidated by her. I knew it was a busy time of year. And my husband was like, you have to ask her, because that's your rule. So you made that rule, you have to ask her. So I asked her. She had over $1,000 party. I booked 5 parties off of her party, and I got 2 reps because of the ripple effect of that. So my rule is I ask every single person who buys from me, even if it feels like, you know, I don't know if she's very Facebook savvy or whatever, like, I just ask. And that's how I have my calendar booked, and that's how I've been able to build my business based on parties, because I ask every single person. And I ask people, like, now that I've been in like just a year, I ask people to host again. So I have reached out to my previous hosts like each month and say, hey, you hosted a really great party last year. Are you ready to get a new wardrobe again? And most of them have said yes. So don't be afraid to re-ask people either, because it's doing a service to them. They're getting all these free clothes again. So yeah. And when you ask too, if people, okay, so people will ignore you, that's fine. People will say no. A lot of people will say, it's a busy time of year for me right now, or the kids are getting ready to go back to school. Make sure you like say, okay, I'm actually booking for November. I'm actually booking for October. Get some sort of commitment, and never say, like, let me know when you're ready or whatever. And we learned this from Amy at Summit. Never leave the conversation putting it on them. Like, don't put the ball in your court or in their court. You stay in control of that conversation and make sure you get some sort of commitment. Even if it's like, okay, can I follow up in October when you're less busy? Yes. Perfect. Same with the rep opportunity. I have a boutique lady who's been trying to open a boutique for like 6 months, and I just keep asking her, okay, can I follow up next month? And she keeps saying yes. So keep following up, even when it comes to parties. And I think, yeah, and just get their commitment, get it on their calendar, get it on your calendar, and don't be afraid, to just keep following up until they say no. And then if they say no, then, but if they say no and keep buying from you, ask them a couple months later too. So yeah, I think that's it. I think just in summary, having a good system so that you can do your parties efficiently, prepping your hostess, and then follow up in every single way. Follow up for them to purchase, and follow up after they purchase, and ask every single person who buys from you if they'd like to host a party.
Well, I'm inspired, Carly. I'm gonna do this in October. I'm really excited. This was good. It's very different, the whole event thing and the way you do the events. I think most of us haven't done it exactly that way. And the whole idea of how you have an event just in your office that you pull, or not your office, in Facebook that you pull from, was brilliant. I mean, that's really smart. I don't think any of us are doing that. I'm sure you guys have logistical questions. If you want to unmute and ask, feel free to do that. There was one question in the chat, Carly. When you do an event, is there a way to set up the event for a few days? I did it once and couldn't change the dates anymore. So it looked like the event was closed after one day.
So I think there is a way in the events to set like a start date and an end date, but I don't do that either, because I like for people to know when they need to get on. I want them to be on that live. I want them to interact. I want them to hear what I have to say and see what I have to show. So I just do the event date for the date and time of the day I'm going to go live. And then after that, they can't invite people anymore. And I just had my hostess today ask me, like, I can't invite. And I just tell them, send them the link to shop, save my live to your phone, because you can save other people's videos, and send them that live. So that's kind of how I overcome that.
And you can still post in there. It's just it's a little harder to find. Isn't that right?
The live?
The event. Isn't it a little tricky to find once it's ended?
Oh,
no?
Yeah, but if you keep posting in there, they should be getting your notifications.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess I've never thought about it that way, but I feel like, and especially when I like send that follow-up, it kind of sends them back there.
Okay. Krista said, any zingy posts you would suggest to activate a party without orders?
Not posts really, because I kind of feel like at that point, if they're not interacting and they're not ordering, the posts aren't going to get them. And I feel like even in general, the posts kind of aren't that important. Mm-hmm. Like, you want to show the product, you want to create some engaging posts, but in that case, I would suggest follow-ups, one-on-one follow-ups from you. And I suggest for my hostess too, I say, hey, you're so close to this, or we only have a couple orders. I suggest that you follow up with them one-on-one, because a lot of times they don't see my messages, like if they haven't accepted my friend request. Right. So I would say in that case, go to the follow-ups and do them yourself, and suggest that the hostess do them as well.
You know what I see as a few of the key things that you're doing that are why it's so successful, not only the number, but it's the way you prep your hostess. It's the way I loved when you said that you link that, you have them introduce themselves or whatever you said, and then you link a few items underneath each person's comment. Brilliant, because then they're seeing each other's and engaging, like you said. That's it. And the live and the follow-ups. I mean, I really think those things like make it, like you said, it's not really about the posts as much as all that extra, you're taking the extra steps is what I see. And that makes the extra difference.
And the follow-up on the end, like after they get their product, is huge.
Yes.
Because people are not used to that. And I've actually just did two trainings on just follow-ups actually. And I explained it as, so if they have something that they're unhappy with and you don't open that door and they don't tell you, sure, you don't get the return, but then they're unhappy and their Zaya sitting on their shelf and you did not create that good experience and that connection with them, where if you just open the door, sure, you might get a return or exchange, but you're making them happy. You're getting them happy in the product, and you're building that relationship. It's huge.
Yeah, that's very smart. That's very smart. Are all of your 4 to 8 parties online or a combo of live and online?
99% of my parties are online. I think I've had my launch party, I think I've had maybe 3 or 4 in-home since I signed up.
Okay. How do you access past parties in the back office and find customer emails to ask if they want to host parties?
Oh, well, that's actually a really good point. And this is, I think, why I do a whole separate training on follow-ups. It's so important to have some sort of tracker, not just the back office, because that can get really confusing and messy, especially like for that reason. I have a specific Google Sheets tracker that has like, okay, Katie Harlan, she purchased from Carly's party on this date. Here's her order number. Did I do my follow-up with her? Did I ask her to host? Did I ask her to rep? Did she do an exchange? And it just keeps it so organized.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I definitely am not doing that. I mean, currently, like I'm dropping a lot of balls because of that. That's big.
I'm happy to share that. I have a blank one.
I think they would love that.
Yeah, I'm happy to share that.
Yeah. They and me. Anybody else? Any other questions? Oh, here's one. When you go live, do you show all the staples? I feel like I want to show everything because people are very general, like leggings and tanks in their tell me about you posts.
So I really struggle with keeping my lives short. Most of mine are pretty much 30 minutes. But I kind of like, I have my whole rack here and I really do show based upon what they talked about. So if they talked a lot about light and tights throughout, I show as much variety of light and tights as I can, along with other items too. If they talked a lot about wanting to wear it just for comfy, for the library, for the grocery store, whatever, then I focus more on joggers. But there are certain things that I always share. I pretty much always wear a pair of light and tights and talk about those. The All-Star bra, because it's my personal favorite and everybody who I sell it to loves. I like to show a combination of like fitted tanks and looser tanks. And then kind of depending on the time of year, like last night I showed the Oh So Soft hoodie because it just launched. I put it on as part of the live. My hair was like a total mess, but I wanted to show them like how it fit, what it looked like. So I have my staples that I show, but I also just kind of wing it based upon what they want to see and what launched, the time of year, and what sells. Like I used to show the hat all the time, and I never really sell hats. Even though I think they're awesome, I think everybody should have them. I never really sold them, so I don't waste the 30 seconds on the hat anymore. So I think you kind of learn what your customers like too, and also what maybe you get a lot of returns or exchanges on, then maybe don't show those as much.
So smart.
Carly, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So you do your lives on Wednesday night and you schedule the event for Wednesday night. So you open the party on Sunday. Do you get very many sales before you do the live?
Nope, I don't.
Okay.
And I really don't try to, because I want them to hear what I have to say, every now and then I'll get a party or a sale before the live, but almost never. And I think that's because of the way in which I have it set up. They know that that's when I'm going to go live. And I include that in my intro too. I talk about like how the party works. This is when you want to be here. This is when I'm going to show everything. And also in a lot of my responses, if they comment on like a bomber jacket, I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to show you all 4 colors or 5 colors on the live. So I always kind of, not always, but periodically I sprinkle in there, like, I'll show you this on the live, because the goal is to have as many people on the live.
So then the party, I mean, the event will close the next day. So, but you're still posting the thank yous and stuff into the event, even though it's actually closed. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And they still see them. They're still getting the notifications, even though that event date is posted, or in the past, they're still getting the notifications of my posts in there.
Okay.
I think as a team, we've found events to be kind of cumbersome. At least Monica and I have, I know. So we usually do Facebook groups, but I mean, this is a good, I'm willing to jump back in and give it a try. Yeah, Monica's nodding too. I like it. I think that's very smart. I love how you have one set up that you just copy and paste from. That's so smart.
Well, and that's been really helpful for my team too, because every new team member, I add them on there, and then they know, like, they don't have to follow it, but if they need something, they know they can just rely on that too.
Right.
It's been a really good coaching tool also.
We have one of those, a Facebook group, but the posts don't stay in order. And I see why that's handy. Here's one question. Do you find that events are as visible in the news feed? I tried and no one was seeing anything. So we switched to a group mid-party and then we had 600 in sales. Yeah, because they have to click going, right? And that's tricky.
They do have to click going, and I do focus on that going number a lot with my hostess. So I recommend, like, do not mass invite. That does not work. Nobody knows what the heck it is. Send them a personal message. Ask them if they want an invite, and then only invite them once they say yes. And then I think too, they're expecting that. They know that they need to click going. And I even coach my hostess and say, make sure you tell them they need to click going. But I feel like they still get notifications if they don't, but I honestly don't know, because I think all of the parties that I'm always invited to are groups, and they just drive me crazy.
I think the key is how you're coaching your hostess. That would be my guess. I'm not sure that they show up in the news feed as much either, but if you're coaching your hostess and they're working with their people, I bet that's it. I don't know, Rachel. I'm going to try it though. I'm going to try it. High five.
For sure.
What's that, Carly?
The coaching the hostess is huge for sure, because, you know, there's weeks when I'm not on my game as well, and I haven't maybe sent her all the things, and then I see the results of that. So it's huge.
Now, of course, you know what that I see, like after you coach your hostess and they're so good, you say, hey, you should be doing this. You already know how to do it. You just did it. Join my team. Okay, well, it's 8:40, so we should probably, it's been 40 minutes. We should probably jump off. Does anybody have any final things to say? I feel like this was so helpful. Just another perspective, an outside perspective, and it's about to be a new month, so I feel like a lot of us might, it's a good time to kind of try some of these new strategies. Okay, well, Carly, thank you so much for sharing your tips with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And if you have customers who you have not asked to host, go message them now. Go ask them to host.
Right now, everybody, right now. All right, guys, thank you so much. Thanks, Carly. Have a great night. Bye-bye.